Hey guys, welcome back to Describely. And today we're gonna dive in tuple data type in Python. Initially, we're gonna go through the tuple introduction, and then we're gonna look into the data retrieval and data unpacking in tuple. Then we'll try to do the data manipulation, and we'll see if it's possible or not. And after that, we will try to run joins, and by using the join, we will try to add two or more tuples into one. And then we'll try to run a for loop in tuple. And after that, we will try to sort the data that is already stored in the tuple. And after that, we will try to find the value, or you can say data, in the tuple. So let's dive into the code now. So what is tuple? So we can say tuple is one of the built-in collection in Python that can be used to store multiple values. Okay, so how can we declare a tuple? So during the introduction of the data type, we saw that we can declare a tuple using the parentheses. Okay, so let's try to declare a tuple. So we can say my tuple, and we can say like this. Okay, so this is going to be, this variable type is going to be tuple. You can also declare a tuple without using the parentheses. So if I say my tuple 2, okay, and if I put a here, so let me try to print these two first. You can see the first variable my tuple has the empty parenthesis here, and the class is tuple. That means the type of this variable is tuple. And in the second variable, we have a here, and you can say the class is string. But if I put a comma here, right, and if I run the code again, you can see now both the variable type is tuple. So if you want to define a tuple, you can use the parentheses, or if you are initializing a tuple with the value, then you can put like this without using the parentheses. If you have, let's say, other values b and c, and run the code, you can see this is when you printed the value, it has already added the parentheses, and you have your values a, b, and c, and the type is tuple. You can also initialize your initial value using the parentheses as well. This is there is no restriction, so you can either initialize your values with the parentheses, or you can initialize your tuple values like this. And if I print, you will see that both the variable have the same value a, b, and c. So you can use either of them, but if you want to initialize an empty tuple, then you need to use parentheses. There is also a built-in class. So let's say my tuple 3 equals to, we can use tuple here. Okay, so this is going to give the type tuple, and if you want to initialize a tuple, you can put like this. And if I print this, you can see the third variable also has a type tuple. So you can initialize a value using empty parentheses, or you can use the tuple and then parentheses. This tuple function can be used to convert a list into the tuple. So we'll see once we cover all the non-primitive data types. So we'll go through a lecture where we will try to convert a list into the tuple, a tuple into the list. Now I want to discuss about some tuple properties. So a tuple is ordered. That means whatever value is stored in the tuple, right, that is going to have an index. So we will have a at 0 index, b at index 1, and c at index 2. So this is positive index. In case of negative index, c is going to be at -1, b is going to be at -2, and a is going to be at -3. So we'll see this when we go to the data retrieval. Okay, and apart from this, the data that we store in the tuple is unchangeable. So once you create a tuple, you cannot modify the data that is stored in the tuple, and it allows the duplicates value. So if you define a tuple like this, you can again have a value c here, and if I print, you can see it has printed that c 2 times. So I have copied the planets, and I have used the parentheses instead of square brackets that we used in the list, and I've also added the indexes here, and also commented the code that we discussed previously. Okay, so for data retrieval, what we can do, let's say if you want to get the planet, okay, so we can say planet 1, and if you want to get the earth here, so we can say planets, and similar to list we can use the square brackets here, and we can pass the parenthesis, indexes, so index 2. Okay, so this is going to give the value at index 2, and we can also use the negative index, so we can say planet 2 equals to planets, sorry, and we can use the negative index, and that is -6. Okay, and if I print the code, if I run the code, you can see using the positive index and using the negative index, we are getting earth. Okay, and both has the data type of str. So similar to list, we can fetch the data using the index. Let's say if you want to get the multiple values, or you can say the range of values from this tuple, so you can achieve this by using the range of indexes. So let me create a variable. I can say var, okay, and this var variable we can assign the value using the colon separator. Okay, so before the colon, whatever we provide, that is going to be the start value, and after the colon, that is whatever we provide, that is going to be the end value, not value, index. So start index and end index. So we want to start from index 1, so we can say index 1, and we want to go till index 4, so we can say index 4. But one thing to remember, this upper value that we provide here, that is not inclusive, that is exclusive. So in that case, if you want to till index 4, then we need to provide the index 5, or you can say n plus 1. So n is 4 here, uh, so we can say 4 plus 1. Okay, and if I print, you can see we are getting the value from Venus to till Jupiter, or you can say index 1 to index 4. You can achieve this using the negative index as well, so you can put -7 here, and then you can put -4. So if I run the code, we will get the same output, because it works with the positive as well as negative index. Let's say if you want to get the value from start till index 4. Okay, so in that case, we can just remove this. Okay, so if I remove this, then it's going to pick the value from start, from 0th index till, if we are saying that -4 plus 1, then it's going to pick till here. So -3 is here, so it's going to pick till here. So if I run the code, you can say it's picking the Jupiter. You can also use the positive index, so we can say 4 plus 1, and if I run this, you can get the same value. So it works with both positive and negative index. There is another scenario. Let's say if you know the start index and you don't know the end index, right? So in that case, if you want to get the value, so let's say you know the start index is 3 and you don't know the index. So what you can do, you can just say 3, and you can just remove the end index. And if I run the code, then you can see we will get the value from Mars till Neptune. So we are getting from Mars till Neptune. Data unpacking is the process of assigning a value directly from a tuple. Okay, so in that case, let's say we have this tuple. Let me just remove the other values. Okay, so we have only two values in this tuple, and we want to assign them directly into a variable. So what will happen? So this Mercury will be assigned to this planet 1, and this Venus will be assigned to the planet 2. If I run the code, you can see the Mercury, planet 1 has the Mercury and the planet 2 has the Venus. Okay, and what will happen if I put a, let's say, planet 3 here? So you will get an exception here, not enough values to unpack. So for unpacking, you must know the length of the tuple. Okay, and you can provide only those number of variables here just before the equal to sign, and it will be, the values will be assigned to these variables. Okay, But in case, let's say you have the planets, this variable, and you only want to stack the first three, okay, and if I run the code, you will get an other exception that says too many values to unpack. So in that case, if you want the first three, then you can put here rest planets, and you can put a star here just before the fourth variable. And now if I print the planet 3 and rest planets, you can see this has successfully assigned Mercury to planet 1, Venus to planet 2, Earth to planet 3, and the rest of the other values has been assigned to rest planets, and they have been assigned as a list here. Okay, so this is how you can unpack a value from the tuple. Now I want to discuss about the data manipulation in tuple. So in tuple, insert, update, and delete is not allowed. If you remember, during the introduction, we discussed that tuple is unchangeable. So once a tuple is created, we cannot modify it anyway. So let's say we know the index, right? So let me create a tuple. We know that tuple is index. So let me create a tuple, my tuple, and if I say, let's say A, comma B, and comma C. So here I have defined a tuple, and A is going to have the index 0, and B is going to have the index 1, and C is going to have the index 2. So let me try to modify this. So if I change the value at index 0, and if I say, let's say hello, and if I print this my tuple, let me run the code, you can see, and this throws an error. The tuple object does not support item assignment. So this is another way of saying that you cannot assign a value here in the tuple. That means you cannot modify it. And let's say if I try to delete this using the del command. So if I try to delete this, you can say tuple object does not support the item deletion. So these operations, insert, update, and delete, is not supported in the tuple. So next I want to discuss about the tuple joins. So here you can see I have added two tuple. One is alpha that contains A, B, and C, and second one we have added numeric. Okay, so this has 1, 2, and 3. So to join the tuple, we can say final tuple, we can say alpha, and we can use the concatenation operator. So we can say alpha plus numeric, and if I print the final tuple, you can see this has created a new tuple that contains the A, B, C, and 1, 2, 3. Okay, so what it does, basically it unpacks the values from both the tuple and creates a new one. You can also use the parentheses, and this is going to give the same result. So let me try to show you that also. So this is the same. So you can use either of the expression. Next I want to discuss about the loops in tuple. So using the for loop, you can say for item in, I'm just going to use this final tuple that we created previously, final tuple, and we can say print item. And if I run the code, you can see it has printed ABC 1, 2, 3. So I've commented the previous code and I've copied the planets tuple that we created. So let's first print the planets. If I print the planet, you can see Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, something like. So this is not sorted. So to sort the tuple, you can again use the sorted function. So we can say my sorted tuple, and we can pass the sorted, and here we can pass the planets. And if I run this code again, you can see this is now sorted, but this has given us the list instead of tuple. So that again verifies that tuple is not changeable. So if you want to sort the tuple, you can not sort that in the tuple data type, you can sort that in the list. So this is now, this sorted function now converted this tuple into the list and then applied the sorting. And if you want the tuple, then you can use the tuple built-in function that we saw previously. So you can pass this sorted tuple into this tuple. So this will create a new tuple using sorted list. So in this way you can get a sorted tuple. To find a value of index in tuple, you can use the index method. So let's see if I want to find the index of Earth. So if I say planets, let's create a variable index of Earth. Then we can say planets dot index method. Okay, so this method is going to give you the index of this particular value Earth. So if I print this, index of earth. If I run the code, you can see it has given 2. So 0, 1 and 2. So using the index method, you can get the index of a value. If you provide small e here and if you try to find the index, then you will get an error, tuple.index not in tuple. So that means searching a value in tuple is case sensitive. Additionally, if you notice in these planets, I have added earth 2 times here. So there is one built-in method. If you, let's say if you want to find the number of occurrence of a value in the tuple, so you can use that. So let's say occurrence, or you can say the count of value. So I will say the count, and you can say planets dot count, and this one accepts a value. So if I try to find a Mercury, how many times the Mercury is there in the tuple? So if I run the code, you can see it has given 1. This 2 is coming from this index. So if I let me comment this actually, and if I run the code, you can see 1 is here. Actually, let me print a separator here. So you can see the 1 is here. So Mercury is there in the tuple 1 times, and if I put Earth, then you can see the Earth is 2 times there. So if you want to get the count of a value in a tuple, then you can use this count function. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.